let's get into why we are here, guys. So we are here to have a bit of fun today. Today, we are going to build our own Formula One teams on a budget. Sorry. The budget is $40 and there's 5 categories. Now, these 5 categories are driver 1, driver 2, team principal, the car, and the livery. So, basically, the budget is $40 and it's $10 for anything associated to a champion and $5 for anything associated to a non-champion. Right, guys, welcome back to Break at the Apex, the best Formula One podcast in the world. I know it's a biased opinion, but it is. It's just, if you watch it, you'll know. Just watch it. Anyways, we are back. We are back. It has been a while. We have a stranger with us today. We'll get into that now. I just want to say that we are sorry that we've missed a couple weeks. I have been ill, and BT said he didn't want to do it on his own because he knew you guys were only really here to see my pretty face. And I'm not going to lie. It sounded funny when I wrote that joke, but now it sounds a little bit vain. So I really apologize. It's also a bit cringy, but it's fun. We'll move on from that. The point is, we do apologize for the 3 of you guys that really do support us. Thank you so much for your patience. But we are back and we plan to be back for the rest of the year with some specials and then back into the racing soon with the race reviews. So thank you for sticking around and let's get into it. Today, we're going to have a lot of fun. We have a stranger in our presence of Dirk. Thank you for joining us, Dirk. Dirk is a content creator. He's a motorsport enthusiast. As you can see by his jacket, his shirt, his cap, his hair, I guess. I mean, you could, I mean, I don't know, like maybe Vettel's got something similar going for him at the moment. I don't know, really.
Well, to be honest, I think it's a bit longer.
Yeah. Is there a F1 driver that's had such long hair before?
I don't think so. I think the longest I've ever seen probably was Alonso when he went through his mullet phase.
Yeah. But
remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, but in F1 it's a numbers game. Every kilogram counts, you know what I mean? So having long hair probably doesn't count to
this is an extra half a second per lap on race pace.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Anyways, listen, before we get into anything, guys, you know the drill. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We really would appreciate it. Or if you're on Spotify, give us a nice juicy 5-star because you know and I know that we are worth 5 stars. So please do it. Honestly, it would help us more than you can imagine. BT, unfortunately, we live in South Africa, and because we live in South Africa, that means that BT's phone got stolen and he needs a new one. So we would really appreciate any help. It would really be appreciated. So please smash that subscribe button and let's get into it. So, Dirk, I'm going to start off with you. Basically, this is an F1 show, so we might as well keep it relevant. And I'm going to ask you, who's your favorite team and who's your favorite driver?
Okay.
Yeah. Shoot.
Okay. So obviously, looking at my cap, you can see that I'm a big Ferrari fan. I grew up in the early 2000s era when the cars were still 3-liter NAV10s. I love that era, and I immediately fell in love with Ferrari and with Michael Schumacher. That typical small kid thing of you always want to support the team that wins. And unfortunately, even though they're going through an utterly horrible time currently, I've been a Ferrari fan since day one, and I always will be. And my favorite driver, he's my ultimate hero in life and will always be, is Fernando Alonso. I'm Fernando Alonso crazy, and I really fell in love with Fernando when he moved from Renault to Ferrari in the early 2000s. And I know he's had some controversial moments where a lot of people, there's like hate pages towards Fernando, but I adore the guy and he will always be my favorite. I personally feel he deserves more championships, but he just made some terrible career choices. But he's, for me, probably the most deserved but least successful world champion in history.
100%. Go for it, BT.
Just a question from my side as well. Give us the top 5 all-time drivers.
All-time drivers for me. Okay. I know this is very controversial, but Alonso will always be at the top of my list. Then I'll have to go with Michael Schumacher. For me personally, he was absolutely awesome in his prime, and he was unbeatable for a long time. I mean, when Senna passed away, Senna was really the only person that could give Schumi a go until Hakkinen showed up. Then third for me, never won a world championship, but his accident really took away a lot from him. I would have to go with Robert Kubica. Was a big fan of Robert, and he really had some incredible standout performances, especially under the BMW Sauber bracket. So I'm a big fan of Robert. Then fourth, it would have to be Lewis. Lewis and Max both, I don't like them, but I have the world's respect for them. And Lewis, his literally his resume shows how good he is, and he's an absolutely phenomenal driver. And in my fifth place, honestly, I would have to go with Ayrton Senna. Obviously taken away way before his time. I never had the privilege to watch Ayrton live, but he was my father's favorite driver. And obviously with modern technology, we could sometimes view some of those old races, and just seeing that guy behind a wheel, especially his Monaco qualifying laps, for me is absolutely insane. So I would have to put Senna up there in my top 5.
Wow. Robert Kubica. Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
That is a
Quite
very
good,
interesting
quite
one.
good.
You're telling me
like
Jenson Button doesn't fit into your top 5?
Oh, do not start. Not start.
Let me be honest.
Come on,
Deserving
Button's a
on that
legend.
list for me. Yeah, deserving on that list still. It's hard to cut it to 5, but honorable mentions would have to be Button, Vettel, and even for me personally, once again, never won a world championship, but in his prime he was awesome, was Felipe Massa.
He might still win a championship, but we don't know.
Oh, yeah, we don't know. Even though I feel that is a pathetic case, but in any case,
yeah. I mean, court is still in standing, so who knows?
I don't think that's gonna happen there.
Look, okay, so listen, I back Alonso 100%. But if I knew you were a Ferrari fan, I probably wouldn't have asked you to come on the podcast. No, I'm joking. I'm just joking. No, BT is a Ferrari fan, so that's just the dynamic
Thank
here.
you. I'm not alone.
But BT, just so that you don't feel left out, I'm gonna ask you to. I don't know if we've actually spoken about this, but I'm sure people know by now. But you can just give us your favorite team and driver as well. Why not? I'll do the same.
Wow. Favorite driver is also Alonso.
Yeah.
I have to. It's Alonso, and the other half I'll give it to Prost. Prost was fantastic for me. I love intelligent drivers. I like drivers that are very calculated. So he was very smart. He wasn't the fastest, but he knew how to win a championship.
He wasn't the fastest. He's got 5 world championships. How is he not?
Dude, Ayrton Senna was faster than Prost. Like, let's just put it out there. He was.
Okay, fair. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Prost won intelligence.
I get you. Sorry.
It's like,
dumb comment. Apologies.
It's like Alonso. Alonso is fast, but Hamilton won more. I'm not saying Hamilton is faster than Alonso. I'm just saying Alonso just didn't win more championships. But anyway, so Ferrari as well, Alonso, and I have a very soft spot for Prost. I just like the way he raced, the way how calculative he was, how he picked his battles. I remained so calm in very, very difficult situations. It was awesome actually watching him, and I've watched a couple of documentaries about him. I read about him. So yeah, that's my 2 drivers.
Your favorite team?
Ferrari, of course.
Cool. Okay.
I'm not you. I'm not Red Bull. What team is that?
No, it's fine. I also just realized that I'm sure I just said that Prost was a 5-time world champion. So before anybody ridicules me, he's a 4-time world champion. Just saying. I do know that. It was just. Anyways,
I was waiting for you to just fix your statement there, because I was like.
You know, sometimes things get stuck, and but he's 5-time. No, he's a 4-time world champion, guys. Sorry about that. I did add one, but you know what? It's fine. If there was anybody that deserved the 5th one, it's probably Alain Prost. So fair enough. Anyways, okay. So from my side of things, I support my favorite drivers, Daniel Ricciardo. Currently, probably moving in the past. We talking more Vettel or Jenson Button kind of vibes. I'm a big lover of personalities, so you can be the best. You can be. I don't really care if you're the best driver or not. I enjoy the off-track entertainment just as much. So I'm a big lover of personalities. So guys like Button, Ricciardo, Vettel, even Alonso. Love Alonso. I just love good personalities. Obviously, with the youngsters these days, you got guys like Norris, Max, which have really good sense of humors, quite sassy from time to time. I love that. I think that's just really cool. And then as for teams, Red Bull and McLaren, I know I support 2 teams, guys, but I'm allowed to. So whatever, man. I grew up loving McLaren, stopped watching. I didn't grow up loving McLaren. I grew up and then I watched the sport, and McLaren, DC and Häkkinen were basically what I liked. I liked their relationship, and then stopped watching for a while, came back because of Ricciardo and Vettel, and that brought me into Red Bull. So Red Bull and McLaren. Anyways.
Awesome.
Let's get into why we are here. Guys, we are here to have a bit of fun. It's a bit of a long-winded intro, that. So if you're still here after that monstrosity, I really, really appreciate that you are still here. But what I'll do is I will probably just clip a part of the main part of the show at the beginning as a highlight so that people know what's about to come. So maybe if you're still here, you probably saw that clip and thought, okay, let's just carry on watching. So thank you so much. And while you might as well just press that subscribe button. You made it this far. Anyways.
Graham, can I add something quick?
Sure, go for it.
I live by this with being a content creator myself. The longer the video or the podcast, the better it is, because there's better communication and there's more excitement.
Guys, yes, that's so true. And also, Dirk over here does some pretty sick commentary on his F1 content, his F1 gaming content. So please head over to his page. Dirk, I'll put your stuff in the description, so you just have to send it to me. No problem. Then we'll link it in the description. He's also got a TikTok. He's a motorsport enthusiast on TikTok and an F1 content creator. So if you go on his TikTok, it's about most motorsports, not just F1. And then on his YouTube channel, he's mostly focused on F1 gaming, right?
Currently, yes, but also really are pushing vlogs. Currently this coming weekend we're going out to go watch the South African Rally Championship. So I'm a motorsport enthusiast by heart for everything. I love cars.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So tell me something. Is Cyril Abiteboul going to be there with Hyundai? Because I'd love to meet the guy. Sorry.
Maybe, you never know. Honestly, that is a possibility. I'm not even kidding, because Hyundai South Africa have got like literal direct ties to the international Hyundai rally team. So that is a possibility.
I got to tell you, while we're on the conversation of Cyril Abiteboul, I think Alpine are kicking themselves in the foot for losing him now, because they are an absolute shambles. Anyways, let's get into why we are here. Sorry for that ramble. Let's get into why we are here, guys. So we are here to have a bit of fun today. Today, we are going to build our own Formula One teams on a budget, which is a bit difficult. But I don't know. The arguments I had with myself were pretty rough. I'm not going to lie. I kind of felt like I was no, I can't say that, because that will probably get me in trouble. Never mind. Let me just move on. So, okay, basically, why we're here is we're going to build our own F1 team of all time on a budget. So the budget is $40, and I don't know why it's $40. I just made it $40 because it's easy math.
Cheap. That's why.
Am I cheap? Says the one who still doesn't have a new cell phone after a week. Anyways.
Oh boy, yo,
Sorry.
that
It's
went
just
right
such-
for the jugular, Graham. That was just like, oh, really?
it's like it's really difficult to communicate with somebody via Telegram. You know what I mean? Like it's not 1920, pal. I mean it's 2023, and I can't be
I
sending
know.
pigeons to your house anymore because the pigeons are too damn lazy to get there nowadays. They're too busy
I'm not
playing
feeding
Angry
them when I
Birds.
get.
You
Yeah,
know,
I'm
they're
not
too
feeding them
busy.
when they get here.
They're too busy playing Angry Birds on their phones. Anyways, what was we were saying? Oh, I got sidetracked. Budget. Sorry. The budget is sorry. The budget is $40 and there's 5 categories. Now these 5 categories are driver 1, driver 2, team principal, the car, and the livery. So basically the budget is $40 and it's $10 for anything associated to a champion and $5 for anything associated to a non-champion. Now, what does that mean? That when I say anything associated to a champion, it's specific to the category. So for example, if you decide you want to pick Sterling Moss as a driver, he's one of the greatest drivers ever to grace the sport that has never won a championship, but he was associated to a team that won a championship with him in it. That doesn't count though. He was not a champion if you're picking him as a driver. So you can pick him as a non-champion. Even though he was part of a championship outfit, you can still pick him because he was not a champion. But if you're picking a team, if that team has won a constructors champion, a team principal, for example, if they've won a championship. Anyways, and then the other thing is team name, and that's free. You don't have to pay for that because the last time I checked, when you write a name of something down, you only really pay 175 Rand at CIPC or CICC or whatever to register it. And if we're working in dollars, 175 Rand is basically worth a loaf of bread. So
literally,
South Africa.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just gonna say that it's free, okay? So sorry for the coughing. As I said, I've been sick. Sorry.
excuses,
Anyway.
excuses.
Yep.
Is that Coca-Cola? Are you drinking Coca-Cola?
Yes, and it's clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mean with no ice? That's what you mean. It's clean with no ice.
Yeah, well, let's just say it's clean with no ice, 100%.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so we're gonna go in alphabetical order. So we're gonna go BT, Dirk, Graham, because
No, man. What the
I mean
hell?
that's how the alphabet works, pal. B comes before D, which becomes before G. I don't know what I was saying there. Jeez, like a...
That was such an unusual time to assert.
You know what, Graham? Let the guest go first. Let the guest go first. Let's be polite. Let's be polite. At least let him go first.
Okay.
I'll go.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, Dirk, you can go first. However, what we're gonna do here is you're gonna name your 5. Sorry, you're gonna name your 5. And guys, feel free to pick apart whatever you want. Feel free to question, feel free to banter, feel free to have fun. Because that's what this is all about. And you guys watching, if you are still watching, in the comments, go crazy. If BT says that Alain Prost is the best ever and it's his #1 driver, just give him shit for it. Sorry, just give him.
You know what? You know what?
I just said to Dirk, we're not gonna swear. But it's
And
really
you
not a
just
bad. It's really not the worst of words. It's like probably the most innocent one. It's probably the only one I really use, anyways. So, anyways, just put your stuff in the comments is what I'm trying to say, and just give him a bit of, just give him hell, okay? Give him hell. Tell him he has no clue what he's talking about. Don't do it to Dirk. We like our guests. We want our guests to come back again. But when it's BT, like, just give him hell in the comments, because we know he's going to pick some ridiculous stuff. Like, I don't know, probably Mazepin is his second driver or something. Anyways, Dirk, take it away, mate. It's your turn to ramble.
Okay, so obviously, what is a team without a name? And that's the reason I'm wearing the jacket. So my team name, I've gone for BMW Grand Prix Racing. I've always wanted BMW to come back into Formula One. I mean, they still have the most powerful V10 engine of the V10 era. They still own that record. And having the direct rival to BMW when it comes to the car world, Mercedes being in Formula One, my heart would give anything to have BMW back in Formula One. So I've gone for BMW Grand Prix Racing. My first driver, and this is no surprise with the beginning of the podcast, it has to be Fernando Alonso. So that's my first $10 deducted. I'm going with Alonso. Second driver, and this is a little bit of a left side swing, I'm going with Juan Pablo Montoya as my second driver. Never won a Formula One World Championship, but one of the most successful motorsport drivers in the world.
Yeah, and he was a BMW driver too.
Exactly. Then my team principal for my second $10 is Ross Brawn. Okay. And then the car that I've chosen, the car never won a world championship, but it was a world championship contender in its season. It's the 2005 McLaren MP420 driven by Kimi Räikkönen and Montoya. And then the livery that I've gone for me personally, and you can take me apart in the comments, I don't mind. Be mean to the guest. I really don't mind. The most beautiful livery ever seen on an F1 car, in my opinion, is the 2009 BMW Sauber livery. It's clean. It's proper. The blue and the red it has a shine because the car's base is white. And I just think that livery on an 05 car with that beautiful V10 in the background with two drivers like Montoya and Alonso at the wheel, it's a recipe for perfection.
Okay, nice. That's a great start.
Like his choice, a great start. Yeah, his choice is like a throwback. You took us back.
Like, it does. You did take us back.
Yeah, it took us back. Yeah.
His choices are a throwback, but they also like a lucky packet. It's sort of like all over the place. You know what I mean? Like you don't really know
it's like
what you're getting.
Yeah, it's like
it's just like but I mean that in a respectful way. It's very I mean, I guess it's not all over the place. I mean, he's stuck with the theme, BMW, Montoya, BMW. I guess he's stuck with the theme there, so that's pretty decent. I've got to say, joke's on you. You said, what's a theme without the name? I'm looking at my notes, and I just realized I don't have a name. So I'm going to have to think about that one real soon. Okay, first of all, I want to ask why Montoya? Because, I mean, I'm just thinking, right, Sterling Moss, David Coulthard, you know, like all the players you could have taken that hasn't had a champion that you needed to get rid of $5 for. I'm just thinking, like, I mean, I guess he is good, but like, why? Why Montoya? Just why Montoya?
Okay, the reason I chose Montoya, obviously, Juan Pablo wasn't in F1 for a very long time because he didn't get along with the teams he drove for, which was at the time BMW Williams and McLaren F1.
I'm sorry. Did you say Montoya didn't get along with anyone? Because that's a shock.
Okay, but it's no knowledge that Montoya was a very hard guy to live by, reason being why he left one so early. And I mean, obviously, I was still very young.
Still don't get along with him.
But I can remember, even though I was so young, when it was announced that Juan Pablo Montoya was coming into F1, he had a dominant career up to that point in junior formulas. He was the Max Verstappen of the early 2000s. Everybody was wanting to see this guy in Formula One machinery. And he came into a team with BMW Williams that wasn't a top running car. And he gave Michael Schumacher a run for his money most of the races in 2003 and 2004. And I mean, 2003 was that year the BMW Sauber the BMW Williams had that awful nose that looked like a gaping whale. But point being is, He took a car that was a solid midfield car, at some tracks even a back marker car, and he thrusted that car to the front. Obviously didn't get along with everybody at BMW, went to McLaren, and from the word go, he gave Raikkonen hell every weekend. He was either just behind Kimi or he was beating him. And we all know how good Raikkonen was in 2005 till about 2012. Raikkonen was exceptional. And Montoya for me he's a story of it's as if he barely got a chance to prove himself. And obviously it's not just other people's fault. He burnt a lot of bridges, but I feel if he built better relationships and he kept his feet in Formula One and he managed another top team seat, I think Montoya would have been a multiple-time world champion, because if you look at his career after F1, IndyCar, rally events, anything he's taken place in, he has performed and he has won things. So he's one of the best drivers in the world if you put him in any car. It's just like Alonso showed when he left back in 2018. So I feel if Montoya had more time, he would have proven to be a world champion. And that is honestly why I picked Montoya. It's a like I said, it's a very left field shot, but I still don't think it's a bad choice. I think Juan Pablo really could have done a lot more for himself in the world of Formula One had he stayed longer.
I mean, look, your two drivers are quite interesting because they have similar personalities. So managing both of those drivers is going to be hell for you.
And they both burnt they both burnt
in terms of strategy. Yeah, and like we're just talking in terms of a race weekend now. And just to say you do have a competitive car, your race strategy for both of them has to be on point, and you have to be really, really strict, and you have to be really, really straightforward with them. Who's driver number one? Who's driver number two? You can't put up in the air like Ferrari does now, where there's no driver number one. We don't have a driver number one. But with those two, you'll need to make sure who's driver number one, who's driver.
I gotta say, with Ross Brawn though, that would work, because he's quite clever. He's probably one of the most intelligent guys in the sport. So I think he would know how to play the two of them. How to play them. I think that would work. Look, I don't have much more to say. I think that's an interesting team. I think the two drivers definitely wouldn't get along. I think there'd be some heated moments in that team. But hey, better for you to manage than me. But both of those drivers have burnt a lot of bridges over their career.
That's fact.
But
press conferences will be very interesting. The press conferences 100%. Will be
100%. But it's still a very interesting team. I'm not gonna question much. Livery is pretty decent. The car is pretty good, I think. And I like the theme. I like the fact that you stuck with the whole BMW theme, and everything seems to focus on that BMW theme. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. It's like you say, it's a very nostalgic picking, because you've got you've got that BMW in there where I think a lot of people would wish to have them back in the sport. You think about BMW Sauber, that's the last time Sauber actually had a car that was competitive.
Exactly.
You think of Ross Brawn, which is probably one of the most intelligent people in the sport. Drivers, both very, very, very talented drivers. I mean, multiple world champion for Montoya is a bit of a stretch to me, but I mean,
I knew you were going to.
But who knows? Who knows? I've got nothing more to say. So, yeah, I don't know, BT, if you've got anything else to add to that. That's a really cool team. Yeah,
it's a really cool team.
Actually. Okay, so Dirk, that's a sick team. Well done. And we'll move over to BT. But first, we're just going to take a little break, and then we'll be back in a bit. So we'll see you soon. Cheers. Right, guys, and we are back, and we are about to give you some more information on teams that we would love to see in real life, which we probably won't ever see, because Montoya will never get a drive again, because nobody likes the guy. They still don't like the man. The man is in the new, like, this guy literally still isn't like, he still makes comments every day. I always see journalists writing about stuff he said, and he always says some dumb stuff. I don't really, to be quite honest with you, some of the stuff he says is quite true. It's just people don't like to hear it, which is the reality. Anyways, BT, you are up next. So let's not beat around the bush. It's time for you to give us your all-time best team on a budget. Go.
Okay, it's not necessarily all-time best team. It's the team that you came up with. Like, don't put so much pressure on it. Come on. But it's going to be hard to follow Dirk's team, man. That team was...
That was a good team. That was a solid team.
Like he spent a whole week trying to do that. But
he did, to be fair, because we kept on postponing this episode. But anyways, let's move on.
Okay, so my team name is P1 Racing. So that's my name of my team.
That's a stolen name. That I'm gonna tell Matt and Tommy all about it.
No, dude. Like, anyway, I'll explain later. So it's P1 Racing. Driver number 1, it's gonna be by my brother, my African brother, Lewis Hamilton. It's gonna be a number 1 driver. Second driver will be Charles Leclerc. That's my second driver.
Wow.
Love him. There's a lot of potential in him. I hope he signs the new contract, and would like to have him for the longest time. Team principal will be Ron. Team principal will be Ron Dennis. Everyone knows Ron Dennis.
Nice one.
Okay.
Nice one.
Well done.
Yeah, everyone knows Ron Dennis. He has won championships. You know, he's a very vocal leader. He likes structure. So you'll be able to manage both of those drivers, especially Lewis Hamilton. He has a relationship with Lewis Hamilton, so that could make a good partnership. The car be Aston Martin. So this year's Aston Martin, that'll be the car. And the livery will be, you guys remember the 1980s and early 90s McLaren. So that would be the livery they'll go for.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And I've done additional stuff where I know you didn't mention them on the actual thing, but they will be not in the $40 because you didn't mention them. So I also added that the car itself will be black. Car will be black. The color of the car livery will be black, and the sponsors will be Apple, Hugo Boss, and Dunhill. So that's the sponsors will be all over the car. So that's me.
Nice.
Yo,
I'm sorry.
Quiet. Graham is quiet.
I'm sorry. Out of all the cars you could pick, you picked the Aston Martin of 2023.
Yes, I did.
Do you mind?
Dark horse, sir. Dark horse.
Do you mind just giving us some insight into? I don't like. Are you trying to win, or are you trying to? What?
I mean, I didn't look. No, listen. It's, in a point of like winning a championship or whatever, they are good this year. They're showing potential. They're showing room for growth. We don't know how they're going to look next year. You don't know how they're going to look next year.
Well, I don't know about you, but usually when I watch F1 at the start of the season and at the mid-season, where they start off coming third and they end up coming seventh, that's usually going backwards. The way.
Yeah, but yes, I understand.
No, and I get you.
Backwards in the beginning of the season, now they go in the right direction. It's just that I'm seeing good things from the team itself.
Okay.
I like how the car looks.
I
like
mean,
the
hey, it's
performance of
your
the car.
team, mate. It's your team. I'm just saying, you literally had 50 years or 70 years worth of teams to pick from, and you picked Aston Martin from 2023. I'm just a little bit confused about how that fits into I mean, anyways, listen, no hard feelings. It's a great car. I've got to say, I feel like this Aston Martin of 2023 is a car that they were good at copying, but don't know how to develop. So that's going to be a very interesting thing to see how it unfolds.
But the thing is, I've told you in our last episode, I think, is that if you actually look all of the races, this car has been within the points in all the races.
Yep, 100%. At least one
Compare
driver.
that to last year. They were not in this position last year. No, I'm just saying they were not in this position last year.
I mean, if you had Lewis Hamilton in the car, then it would be scoring. I mean, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. So to be fair,
and this cover that McLaren came with the last three races, actually, everyone just stopped focusing on Aston Martin and went to focus more on McLaren. McLaren just became more faster. Meanwhile, this car's actually scoring points. And I think in their position, they're not looking at championships at this point. They're looking at building what they have. So I think that's why I chose them. This is a brand new team for me.
Okay. So you chose a team that you can build.
Thank you. If I'm starting a new team, I'd rather be in their position. Can't be striving for Red Bull or the Ferrari from the early 2000s, the one that Schumacher was driving. Yeah, so that's the angle that I took.
That's a perfect angle if that's the way you want to go. Dirk, do you have any objections, questions, thoughts?
Dirk was impressed, bro. You could see.
Yeah, actually. Okay. First of all,
wait. So I gotta say, I do like one thing: the black livery. I think for some reason this year has definitely outlined how cool black looks on an F1 car.
Yeah, exactly. Looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Dirk, you can go on. Go for it.
No problem, Graham. So one thing, Graham, I know you gave BT just a lot of hell with the car itself, but I actually agree with But I actually agree with him. The one thing that that I personally feel he did well is he's taking a team that is in a developmental phase as the team's lifespan. As a manufacturer, with Aston Martin now being a manufacturing team and also with rumors that they want to build their own engines when the new engine regs come, he's taken a team with two exceptional drivers. And even though I will never get past the I am stupid moment from Leclerc back in 2019, because that was so funny. But with those two drivers, a young driver with...
I don't think he's gotten over it either. So
that is true. But having a young driver with immense amount of potential, a seasoned veteran, the most successful driver in Formula One history, and combining that with Ron Dennis's expertise in a car that can go nowhere but up, I think that is a killer combo. And I mean, with the sponsoring and the coloring, I think that honestly, that car would look. It would literally be the definition of an F1 Batmobile. Mercedes can take second place.
Doug, can I tell you something? I'm so disappointed, Graham. I thought you'd get this whole concept, and you didn't. I'm so disappointed. I can't even hide it.
I get it now. I get it now after you explain that you wanted to go with the...
And Doug, to add on, imagine this car is chasing you around the circuit. You're just seeing black, like in your mirrors, you just see this black car, like in your
I just want to say, if you hear my team, there will be no worry at all about anything chasing me, because there will be nothing.
We know. Yeah, we know you're boring. Yeah, you're boring. We know.
There will be nothing, because
I have an idea.
Okay, I'll tell you what. You tell me what it is.
No, I'm not gonna do that, Graham.
Come on, let's make it fun. Let's make it fun. Come on, let's make it fun. No. Give me what you think I'm gonna go for.
So far, no.
Okay. In all seriousness.
Interesting. There's goals there. There's goals, basically.
Yeah. Okay. In all seriousness, you know, I just like to take the mickey with you. I do like your team. I do question the Aston Martin thing genuinely, but I do get it after you explained the reasons for it. And to be fair, if you're looking at building up a team, Ron Dennis is the perfect guy to put in place if you're going to build a team. So I get it, and that's a pretty sick team. It's not the conventional all-time. As you said, it's not really the all-time thing. It's not, you know, if I must pick an all-time team, it's not the conventional all-time team I would go to win a championship with. I was very half expecting you to go sort of like the Alain Prost route. Sorry.
That's why I didn't go that route, because I knew you'd know that I would do that. So that's why I didn't do that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't know, Dirk, do you have anything else to add? I don't think I've got anything else. I think that's a pretty good team. I think his reasoning is pretty decent, and I'm happy to move on. BT, are you happy with your own team? Do you want to make any changes?
No, dude. I mean, my car is black. Why would you want to do a change there? Come on.
It's always gonna be. Yeah. Anyways. All right.
Graham, I'm good to move on. I'm curious to hear what you've got to offer us now. Let's see what the big IT brain has brought us to this podcast tonight.
And Dirk, can I tell you something? It's going to be really complicated because Graham's a complicated guy. So it's going to be really complicated.
The pressure. You're probably not wrong. You're probably not wrong, because I have got a okay. I've got a strategy to this.
Let it rip.
So my driver 1 is Max Verstappen. Okay. My driver 2 is Nicholas Latifi, and my team principal is Michael Massey, because just if there's ever a title decider, it's been proven that this combination works. So sorry, I can't.
Stop joking around. Stop joking around.
When he said Max, as soon as he said Nicholas Latifi, I knew exactly what Graham was going for. Have Max chase someone down, and in the last race, just have Nicholas ruin it for the other contender. Just run over him, run over his mechanic's foot or something, just to have a reason for Max to win the championship.
So, truth be told, this is a working strategy for winning titles. And when Massey is in charge of something and Latifi is willing to take a crash, Max can win a championship. So, I mean, listen, I don't want to trigger too many people, so I'm just gonna stop with the jokes now and get serious. I'm gonna start from the bottom with the livery. Because I'm gonna leave the best for last. So,
okay,
I'm gonna go with the livery, which is only going to cost me $5. And that is the McLaren Chrome of 2023. I thought that was an extremely, extremely beautiful livery, the special Chrome livery that they had. When that livery came out, I immediately posted on social media saying this has got to be one of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen. Yeah, that's going to take $5. And then I found a loophole in the system, because the RB19 is not a championship car yet, and it's probably the most dominant car of all time. So I'm going to take the RB19, which is the Red Bull of this year. Hey, put your finger. And then what I'm going to do is the team boss is going to be Horner, just because I think the guy's an absolute boss. And then because I've still got $20, I've still got 2 champion drivers that I can put in the car. So I'm going to go with an Ayrton Senna and a Lewis Hamilton, because they have got to be 2 of the better drivers I've ever seen in this sport. And I'm going to say that Ayrton Senna and Lewis Hamilton in an RB19, wow. All I can say is it won't be boring.
Yeah, you're winning the championship, dude. Clearly. Clearly,
I am.
you are.
And I am.
Yes.
But what I want to see is Ayrton Senna and Lewis Hamilton fight for it. Because honestly,
There'll be hell of a fight.
let's be real. It's really as a Red Bull fan. And it's actually funny because I'm a Red Bull and McLaren fan, and I took a Red Bull car with the
What's the
McLaren
name?
livery.
What's the name of your team? What's the name of your team?
Oh, it's a no-name brand. That's the quickest thing I could.
Hey, just call it Pick and Pay No Name for all our South African viewers. Pick and Pay No Name.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. We'll call it the no-name team. Just simply because I didn't come up with a name. But I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I as much as I love Red Bull, it really is boring. Like to support a guy that's like literally 30 seconds up the road every time, it's really tough because you kind of like you can't really support him because you know he's gonna win, right? So to get an excitement, you have to kind of support other people now. Because there's no real excitement in supporting somebody you know is going to be 30 seconds up the road. So I just want to see a fight with this car. So I just thought RB19 with 2 races that are arguably 2 of the best of all time. Hello, come on. You can't lose with that. Anyways, the floor is yours. Go away with it.
BT, you can go first. I want to hear this now. I'm excited. I just need popcorn.
He's trying to think. I can tell you what's going on. He's trying to think. He's trying to think what he can pick apart here because he knows for a fact there's nothing he can actually pick apart here.
But Graham, listen, we know your car's going to win. Your team is winning. They're winning the championship. I don't know it's about winning here. So clearly, what happened is that I'm glad that we all have 3 different teams. That's the point of the show.
I gotta say,
imagine we all pick teams that will win, like winning teams.
Yeah. We all went with a different strategy. Yeah, that's great.
Dirk's team is the more established team, the
nostalgic team as well.
Yes, second after you, second fastest. Obviously, you the fastest. My team is the new kids on the block.
Yeah.
I got one experienced driver, a multiple world championship driver. I have a potential world champion driver. So to me, it balances itself.
100%.
In terms of your team, look, your driver structure as well. It's the same as Dirk. I hope Horner will be able to manage those 2, especially Senna, because we know that Senna will be the more vocal one because we know Hamilton can be passive aggressive during a title race. He becomes very calculated and he becomes passive aggressive where his actions are showing more dramatic stuff than him saying dramatic stuff. And Senna says dramatic things, and Senna's not scared to complain about Hamilton or to complain to Horner about the situation in the team.
Yeah.
And the famous mistake that Senna made in Monaco, everyone knows, where he tried to try to embarrass Prost by crashing into the barriers where he was about 20 seconds or 15 seconds ahead, which is, you didn't have to do that. So your team will be the most
controversial
team to watch.
Yeah,
and interesting team to watch during the season.
I gotta say,
it's a sick team. I have to say, it's cool. It's cool. I like the livery though. I like the McLaren livery as well.
I went with the loophole of the RB19 so that I could save up space to have 2 really established championship drivers there. And I think if you notice between all 3 of us, what's nice is that the only thing that we've had similar is that you and I both picked Lewis Hamilton. Otherwise, everything else is different between all 3 of us, which is really cool because I was half expecting some of us. I was actually worried that a lot of us were gonna pick the same person, and I was like that.
And I don't know if Dirk agrees with me. I like that we chose different team principles.
All of us.
Three of us don't really think the same way, and we have different manageable styles. In other words, I'm more hands-on.
Yeah.
I like keeping, like, I'm not gonna say I'm micromanaging, but I'm more of a hands-on type of person where I need to know what you're doing and you need to keep me updated. So that's
Yes,
why I
yes, yes,
chose Ron
yes.
because
Yeah.
it's very hands-on like that. Yeah. So Dirk, you can go. You can roast Graham's team.
Okay,
Can I
before
can
I
I
touch
just
upon game.
can I just
Okay, now
say
go for game.
can I just say that for all you guys that think I'm just a Red Bull fanboy or whatever, hey, I put Lewis Hamilton in
Oh.
my team here, guys. I put Lewis Hamilton in my team. And you guys need to give me more respect now because I've put your boy there. Anyways, carry on, Dirk. There's nothing much to add anymore.
Okay, I'm going to add something more to what I want to say now. But first of all, I'm going to be honest. I never try and make my decisions on from a biased position. But I'm a Ferrari guy out and out. So I'll honestly say I am a fanboy. I wear this hat with pride. Every time there's an F1 race weekend from a Thursday, this hat's on my head. Secondly, so what I love about our team principle stuff, and I want to mention this before I forget, the fact that we've all chosen different team principles, the way I see it. So Ross Brawn is always the one that I chose, has gone for, he knows how to manage hot-headed drivers, but he's mainly focused on pure car and team performance. The car and the team need to work together no matter what part of the team you play. And managing Alonso and Montoya with getting a car to the front, no matter what it takes, is what I went for. Graham, yours with Christian Horner, even though I don't feel he's the best at managing his drivers, that's my honest opinion, he is still a brilliant team principal and he knows how to get a car to the front and he knows how to keep it at the front.
Yeah.
So with you already having the RB19, it's a very good thing. And then BT going with Ron Dennis. I mean, you can never stop talking about people like Ron Dennis and Ross Brawn. They are so established
100%.
in the Formula One world. And the way that basically if these three teams had to try and like go for a championship, first of all, I think it would be absolutely interesting. And I'm sorry for you guys, but my car will sound the best with it having a V10 in the back. But your cars are going to sound like muted parts.
The problem is I won't hear. The problem is that I won't hear your car because I'd probably be 30 seconds up the road. So it's just one of those things. But before you carry on, I gotta say that my first another team principle that is very highly spoken about, which is actually who I picked at first, was Jean Todt. The only reason why I changed to Christian Horner is because I love his management style. I love the way he plays the media. I think he's a very clever individual and he plays the media very well. And I think I think he's like the big brother in the paddock. You know, the big brother that always likes to just press on the little brother's buttons the whole time, even though he's the youngest. Even though he's the youngest, I feel like he's the big brother. He just likes to take digs. Like, yeah.
But do you know why? Do you know why he's also good? Do you know why? He keeps.
I mean, there's many reasons. Yeah.
He keeps the team gossip, the team drama within the team.
Yeah.
Nothing
100%.
Yes.
That's what makes him good. We never hear like funny, like Ferrari. Ferrari is known that things will leak out. Like Ferrari, it's a culture where they do not keep things within the team. But Christian Horner has done that in Red Bull, where we don't know what's happening in Red Bull. We don't know if Christian Horner doesn't like Perez or not. We don't know.
Yeah.
But if you go to Ferrari, like last season, you could see Benito was getting annoyed with Leclerc. You could actually see it.
Yeah.
That is bad. That is bad. Like you could see Benito would call Leclerc over, start speaking to him like, no, calm down. What's wrong with you? Stuff like that. You never see Horner do that.
Yeah.
You'll never see Horner do that. That stuff is supposed to be happening in the debrief after the race. That's where those stuff should be aired out. Not
I like how Horner
stuff like that.
Yeah, I love how Horner trusts his teams, his team players.
Yes.
I love how he utilizes them, and I love his business outlook. For example, when he came into the sport, his first thing was, if we're gonna do something here, I want the best people around me. people that
Yes.
are better than him. And that was his main thing. That was his first thing. His first point of order was Adrian Newey. And he said he was not going to stop at anything. He went to Dietrich and he said, I want him and I need to get him. And they threw everything at him. And he took the offer and he came over. And that was his ploy. That was his way of entering into the sport. He just said, I want the best people around me. For somebody who studied business and who is very into business, I admire that mentality. I admire that management style. And I also love that Red Bull always has a good vibe. And I think that stems down from management. I mean, there's always
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's always such a good vibe. The team always seem like they're having fun and partying, and the social media always looks like everybody's going boss and having fun, and the drivers always seem to be close. I don't know if you know, like, if you look at the Red Bull drivers over the years, I mean, besides Webber and Vettel, if you look at the other drivers over the years, you always see them together. You know, like even now, you always go look at the paddock now, right? If you look at like the post and pre-recording shows of F1, you often see Checo and Max and Daniel when Daniel was the reserve, when he wasn't at AlphaTauri. You often saw the three of them walking around together, just laughing, talking, but you don't often see the other teams where the drivers are always walking around. Like, the only other team that I see the drivers together a lot is Joe and Bottas, but the rest of the time you don't really see the drivers walking around together and so on. And I like that cohesiveness, and to me that stems down from management. I think that comes from management. Anyways, Dirk, you wanted to go, so go for it. Whatever you have.
Okay, first of all, I don't appreciate that you found a loophole in the rules that you created, but in any case, I'll leave it there. Well done with actually using the loophole.
Listen, F1's all about loopholes, right? Think about it.
Freaking hell, I've never heard about freaking the biggest up guys be like, no, we just made this, let's just go the other way around. But in any case.
And an easy special, and you found a loophole. Wow. Okay.
That's all good. But Graham, in any case, all I want to say is I feel like you two have gone for a lot more modernized team than compared to me. I really tried to like have fun with it. But all I want to say to you is Hamilton, Senna, same car, championship battle. Good freaking luck.
Yeah, no,
I thought mine was bad with Alonso and Montoya. Oh. You've got all the drama in the world. Mine is going to be secondary.
100%.
Dirk, the press conferences are going to be entertaining. Like,
it's going to be better than the racing.
I reckon a couple water bottles are going to be thrown around in press conferences, and it's going to be aggressive. It's going to be aggressive. But you know what? Because I'm the team owner, what else? I'll just let Horner know. Like, listen, pal, don't worry about that stuff. Let me deal with that stuff. You worry about the car and the team, and let me worry about the drivers. And then it's pretty simple, bro. It's pretty simple from there. Look, I'll tell you why I've picked the two of them, right? I obviously did explain the why, because I wanted a fight. If you're going to have such a dominant car, you need to have a fight at least. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you why I'll tell you why I picked the two of them in particular. Senna is very aggressive. Max is very aggressive. Now, if we saw Max and Lewis in 2021, that was some really hard racing there, and it was really fun. Probably one of the best seasons we've ever witnessed in F1. I didn't want to pick Max just simply because I wanted something that wasn't, as you said, our teams are very modernized. I wanted something that wasn't too modern. And I also feel like, as nice as it is to have seen Max and Lewis, Max is not a great yet. He's on his way. He's on his way.
Thank you.
He's on his way, but he's not. Yeah, he's on his way, but he's not there yet, right? And I wanted to make a statement with this team. I wanted two great drivers in this team.
Yes.
And so that's why I went with Senna and Hamilton. But I do know the consequences are to manage them is going to be rough. I know that. But hey, listen. Come on, man.
I
bit.
have a question for both of you guys. I'm
Okay.
gonna start with Dirk. So
Okay.
Dirk, which so your team and your car, right?
Mhm.
So which circuit do you want to specialize in? Which circuit do you want your car to perform the best? Do you want your car to
Ooh.
perform in a circuit like Monaco the best, downforce and all that stuff, or do you want a high speed when you go to Belgium or yeah those circuits and stuff like that? Which one do you choose?
Okay.
Silverstone, Austria, yeah.
Like I said, I'm a very controversial person, and even my favorite track on the current F1 calendar is a very controversial one. I would like my car to be good at street circuits, but high speed and high downforce street circuits. So I would have to go with, I would want
Jeddah.
my car to be in its element around the streets of Azerbaijan.
Okay,
Yes.
Ryan.
I thought you were gonna go Jeddah, to be honest, because that's a
No, 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 no.
pretty
It
quick.
has to be Baku. That is my favorite current circuit on the calendar. But my favorite
Yeah.
circuit of all time has to be Istanbul Park in Turkey. I adore
Okay,
that
yeah.
track.
Remember
So
that
I'll
circuit,
yeah,
yeah.
to be honest, I'm not a street track fan at all, but I do think Jeddah, which is sort of like a hybrid
No,
track,
I
if I'm
mean,
not mistaken, but
understand,
I
man.
think Jeddah's a really
This is your car setup now, like your car.
yeah.
So
No, I mean
if
I
you go to
personally
a certain track, you know your car's gonna be hands
yeah.
down the
Hmm.
fastest.
Look, I'm like my favorite tracks are Austria, Brazil, Silverstone. So you can tell where that's going.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm going for the fast tracks. Um I'm going for the low downforce, high speeds. I mean, dude, like for me, that's just so much more exciting to watch. It's more exciting for me to watch cars really push the limit. You know, like to me, going around Monaco, it's nice because they're pushing the limit on how close they can get to the damn wall. But they're
Yeah,
not
that's
really.
true.
But like I want to see them just put their foot flat and throw it for
Mm.
the UK people
Yeah.
watching. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
going.
I'm also leaning it with you, Graham.
Yeah.
Belgium, Silverstone, yeah, those type of tracks.
Okay, look, let me quickly just explain something. Look, I do like street circuits more than I would say the usual F1 driver, but
Yeah,
I don't have
this is
anything
what I was
against
going to
modern
say.
race circuits. Street circuits like Las Vegas, Miami, Monaco to an extent, like those types of tracks, I don't like. The reason I like Baku so much is for me, it's a perfect hybrid between managing a car that's stupid fast in a straight line, but also you need downforce for the middle sector. Because even though those corners are slow, they are extremely hard apexes to hit. So you need a car that's sufficient with low speed and mid speed downforce, but still have a negative amount of downforce to actually get down the straight. And with me picking a V10 era car, those cars had insane top end speeds. So that's specifically why I went for Azerbaijan. It's just if I had to like make a street circuit, Azerbaijan for me is the perfect street circuit. It's got slow speed and high speed, and there's parts where the drivers can really push the cars like on a racetrack. But I would never say that a street circuit is better than an actual racetrack. So there, I completely agree with you, Graham. These cars need to be pushed to the limits because that is what they are built to do.
Yeah.
So Singapore is mainly the same as Monaco than Baku, right? Am I right by saying that?
Okay. Yes, yeah, definitely.
Singapore is definitely a bit more tighter and little less, a little less straights as well. Baku's got a lot of straights, quite a few like decent sized straights. All right, guys. I don't know if you've got anything else, but I think we can call it. I think we've all given. I think that's been a great show, great episode. I enjoyed that. For those of you still watching, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, and if you are still watching, let us know what your teams are. Let us know what you would make your best teams, and just. As you've noticed, we all seem to have our own strategy. So just for more context, give us your strategy, because apparently some of us don't understand the strategy without you saying it.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Graham. Thanks. Yeah. Good show.
Anyways,
Good show, guys.
Thank you so much,
Dirk,
Dirk, for joining. Sorry, BT, go for it, pal.
And our next special is the top 5 all-time races. So if you want to join us with that one, you're most welcome. Yeah, we will chat about it offline. Me and Graham will chat to you. But yeah, it's been cool, man. It's been lovely. I know my team is the best, black, but
you're so racist. You know that you are just such a racist. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining. Dirk, thank you so much for joining. We hope to see you back again. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, go for it.
I just quickly, I don't want to waste too much time, but I just want to say thank you to you and BT for giving me the opportunity. I really enjoyed doing this with you guys. I hope I made a good first impression, and you guys can press my button anytime to use me in the future again. And to the viewers, thank you so much if you are still here for staying till this time. If you're watching on YouTube, remember the like as well as the subscribe. And again, thank you to both of you. It's been nothing but a privilege for me to spend this time with you guys.
Great stuff. Well, thanks. Seeing as he's done my job for me, the like and subscribe part, I'm going to let you know to please, in the description, I'm going to put his stuff in there as well. So please go and subscribe to Dirk and go and support his racing and his motorsport enthusiasm. I don't even know where to go with that, but just go and follow him anyways. Guys, thank you so much. That was good fun. And we'll see you again next week. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers, guys. Have a wonderful night.